Welcome back to the City Period. Today, we've get the latest updates of your beloved club, Manchester City. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of City news. Let's get started. Manchester City have officially entered the high-stakes race for Real Madrid's Brazilian winger Rodrygo goes, launching what sources call a serious and strategic effort to bring the dynamic attacker to the Etihad Stadium in a deal worth around £77 million. This sudden but calculated move by City has sent shockwaves through the transfer market, as the European champions aim to strengthen their already world-class squad amid shifting dynamics in both Manchester and Madrid. Rodrygo's rise to stardom. Rodrygo Silva de Gois, simply known as Rodrygo, joined Real Madrid from Santos in 2019 for €45 million, following in the footsteps of fellow Brazilian talents like Vinicius Jr. Over the years, he has developed into a crucial figure for the Spanish Giants, especially in high-pressure UEFA Champions League ties. Known for his composure, flair, and knack for scoring in big moments, Rodrygo has often been dubbed Madrid's clutch winger. Despite his versatility and work rate, Rodrygo has often had to operate in the shadow of Vinny Jr. and more recently Jude Bellingham, limiting his chances of truly becoming Madrid's talisman. But it's precisely this dynamic that may now be opening the door for a sensational Premier League switch. Why Manchester City want Rodrygo City's interest in Rodrygo is not random. Pep Guardiola has long admired the 24-year-old's technical prowess, versatility on either wing, and ability to drift centrally to create numerical superiority in midfield, a tactic central to Guardiola's positional play philosophy. With Bernardo Silva's future still uncertain amid renewed interest from PSG and Saudi clubs, City are exploring options to refresh their wide attacking options. Rodrygo fits the bill perfectly. He's young but experienced, technical yet explosive, and has been forged under the pressure of Bernabeu expectations. Guardiola reportedly sees him as the ideal long-term complement to Phil Foden and Jeremy Doku, especially with Jack Grealish struggling with consistency and fitness. Madrid's transfer reconfiguration. Real Madrid's transfer activity this summer has significantly altered the club's attacking landscape. With the arrival of Kylian Mbappé on a free transfer from PSG and Endrick Felipe set to join the first team from Palmeiras, the front line is more congested than ever. Vinicius Jr. remains untouchable on the left, and Mbappé is expected to play a central or right-sided role, raising serious questions about where Rodrygo fits into Carlo Ancelotti's plans. While Ancelotti and Florentino Perez value Rodrygo's contributions and attitude, they are aware that the club must balance attacking depth with dressing room harmony. Selling Rodrygo would provide both a significant financial boost and allow other talents like Arda Güler and Endrick more game time. Madrid sources suggest they are open to selling Rodrygo, if the price is right. The price tag: £77 million. Reports in Spain and England suggest that Real Madrid would consider offers in the region of £77 million, €90 million, for Rodrygo. This valuation reflects not just his performances over the last 2 seasons, but also his age, marketability, and potential. Manchester City, backed by one of the wealthiest ownership groups in football, are prepared to meet this figure, especially if it means reinforcing their attack ahead of another grueling campaign that will include the UEFA Super Cup, the expanded Club World Cup in 2025, and another push for Premier League and Champions League glory. City have made contact with Rodrygo's representatives, and while no formal bid has been placed, negotiations are understood to be progressing quietly behind the scenes. Other interested clubs City aren't alone in monitoring Rodrygo's situation. Paris Saint-Germain have long admired the Brazilian and view him as a natural successor to Neymar's creative mantle. They are also looking to replace Mbappé's output and may turn to Rodrygo if their primary targets prove unattainable. Chelsea under Enzo Maresca are also keeping tabs. With their youthful project gaining momentum, Rodrygo fits the club's profile of signing elite under-25 talents. However, Chelsea would likely need to offload one or more attackers, such as Raheem Sterling or Noni Madueke, to make room financially and tactically. Liverpool, meanwhile, could enter the race if Mohamed Salah's situation in Saudi Arabia escalates, though no direct movement from Anfield has been reported yet. Rodrygo's perspective. The player himself has remained publicly loyal to Madrid. In a recent interview, Rodrygo stated, "I'm happy here. This club is my home." However, insiders close to his camp admit that the Brazilian is increasingly concerned about his long-term role under Ancelotti following the arrival of Mbappé. At 24, Rodrygo is entering the peak years of his career and wants to be a regular starter. The idea of playing under Guardiola, competing in the Premier League, and forming what is shaping up to be a summer of calculated retooling at the Etihad, Manchester City have reportedly identified a £51 million rated right-back as an alternative to Tino Livramento. While the Southampton Academy graduate, now at Newcastle United, had been considered a top target for Pep Guardiola, complications surrounding his availability and valuation have prompted City to shift their focus elsewhere. The reigning Premier League champions, fresh off their fourth consecutive league title, are eager to refresh key areas of their squad ahead of the 2025-26 season. Guardiola, now entering what could be his final contract year at City, is targeting players with the dynamism, tactical intelligence, and technical excellence required to fit seamlessly into his evolving system. With veteran right-back Kyle Walker entering the twilight of his career and João Cancelo's future all but sealed away from Manchester, a long-term successor is seen as a priority. Livramento talks stall. City's initial interest in Tino Livramento came as no surprise. The 21-year-old England U21 international has impressed at Newcastle despite an injury-hit season, showcasing his electric pace, press resistance, and intelligence in one-on-one duels. A former Chelsea youth product, Livramento has been on the radar of top clubs for several years. His ability to play both as a conventional fullback and as an inverted fullback appeals greatly to Guardiola's tactical model. However, negotiations with Newcastle have hit an impasse. The Magpies themselves, preparing for a return to European football, see Livramento as untouchable unless an extraordinary bid is placed. With financial fair play, FFP, tightening its grip, City are reluctant to overspend for a player still recovering full form and consistency post-injury. Newcastle are reportedly holding out for close to £65 million, far above what City deem fair value. This has prompted Director of Football Txiki Begiristain to open talks with other clubs across Europe, identifying a viable, cost-effective alternative. The £51 million alternative. Pedro Porro. A return to the Etihad? Sources close to the club suggest that Pedro Porro, currently at Tottenham Hotspur, has emerged as a concrete alternative. Valued at approximately £51 million, the Spaniard has made rapid strides in the Premier League since arriving from Sporting CP. Interestingly, Porro was once on City's books, signed in 2019 from Girona, although he never made a senior appearance and was loaned out multiple times before being sold to Sporting Lisbon. At Spurs, Porro has flourished under Ange Postecoglou's high-intensity system. His aggressive positioning, crossing range, and ability to operate in both traditional and inverted fullback roles have earned him acclaim. In 2024-25, he registered 8 assists and 4 goals in the league, while ranking among the top fullbacks in progressive carries and key passes. With familiarity of English football and Guardiola's footballing culture, having been loosely associated with the City group for several years, Porro could represent a smooth, high-upside transition. At 25, he's entering his prime and would bring immediate value to City's treble-contending ambitions. Tactical fit in Guardiola's setup. Pep Guardiola has long been a manager who demands versatility and intelligence from his fullbacks. Since converting João Cancelo and often using Rico Lewis as an inverted midfielder, Guardiola has shown a preference for players capable of stepping into midfield during possession phases. Porro fits this profile well. At Tottenham, he frequently drifts inside to create overloads in midfield, a pattern Guardiola favors in his positional play. He also boasts a strong engine, capable of tracking runners and transitioning quickly during turnovers. While not as fast as Walker in a foot race, Porro's anticipation and reading of the game compensate for it. Additionally, Guardiola is believed to appreciate Porro's comfort in small spaces, something that aligns with the intricate, controlled build-up play City are known for. Should he arrive, Porro could alternate with Lewis, providing cover and tactical flexibility, especially as Guardiola increasingly rotates his squad to handle fixture congestion. City's defensive overhaul strategy are expected to prioritize defensive reinforcements this window. In addition to a new right-back, the club are actively monitoring young center-backs, with Bayern Munich's Matthijs de Ligt and Benfica's Antonio Silva both linked. With Aymeric Laporte already gone and concerns over Manuel Akanji's fitness, strengthening the backline is paramount. Bringing in Porro could signal a clear tactical direction. Guardiola may look to return to a back four with two traditional fullbacks capable of attacking width while retaining midfield control. That would mark a slight departure from the hybrid three-at-the-back shape City have adopted in recent campaigns.